Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got a video for you about the Call of Duty community and how it has reacted to Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I can only talk about the community in generalities because each individual person is different, every comment is different. It happens on different platforms at different times during the beta from different people over different topics, and there are things ranging from this is the best to the worst COD ever to very positive, very negative, but it's not unreasonable to try to analyze the community as a whole, as a group, or at least as a hodgepodge of smaller groups. Opinions seem very split this year on Modern Warfare, to say the least. I was surprised because I was expecting a very happy community. We finally have a realistic modern shooter with crossplay and no season pass and a return to boots on the ground and old school gameplay, which is probably the problem because after 5 years of jetpack and boosting in future CODs, almost everybody is either used to the new thing or they started with the new thing and they maybe remember slower gameplay being a little bit different than how it actually was. They have these sort of fantastical memories of Modern Warfare 1 and 2 as being really aggressive and crazy when that wasn't really the case. And a certain portion of the community has, perhaps rightfully so, turned very negatively against Modern Warfare and very quickly. I didn't think that was going to come. I thought we were going to get some universal praise here, and that didn't happen, and I get to be wrong yet again. And I think that they have validity to their complaints. They don't like the camping, which is really high. They don't like the dark corner McDougals, of which there are too many. They don't like dying really quick, which happens all the time. And it would be a bit unfair to call this group jetpackers just because they don't like things, because a lot of older players also feel this way too. Sadly, the attitude has shifted on Modern Warfare in terms of feedback from being either a completely lost cause, abandoned ship, go back to another COD game, or requesting a nearly impossible amount of fixes from the developers. The COD subreddit in particular has a lot of fixes coming in and suggestions, and the Infinity Ward community manager's tweet replies are just loaded with crazy stuff. It's not just crazy in terms of difficulty of what a person wants changed before the game releases, but also crazy in terms of politeness. And people have had some not so nice things to say about her and Infinity Ward and a lot of things in general, but this happens every year. This is nothing new. So my advice to you, if you hate Modern Warfare, if this is the worst game, you think it's trash, whatever, that's good on you, good for your opinion. But remember, angry messages get ignored. This happens for me too. However, concise and constructive messages that really clearly nail a problem and offer a solution oftentimes get a lot more attention and get things fixed. The good old skill-based matchmaking debate has also raised its ugly head again as the impossible boogeyman that can be blamed for everything in the Call of Duty community. I'm seeing a lot of posts about skill-based matchmaking, and skill-based matchmaking as a thing is just about impossible or test or prove without a ridiculous amount of effort. We've spent a really disproportionate amount of time on my channel trying to figure out skill-based matchmaking, and with largely inconclusive results, but I do gotta admit that the lobbies were really sweaty this weekend. This was one of the sweatiest, most competitive betas that I have ever played. Almost every single game felt like I was playing MLG main stage round 11 S&D every single match. We had laser beam aim just melting me instantly, people turning on me like gods. We had scuff jumping, which is probably my fault for promoting scuff controllers. Everybody's pre-aiming, everybody's got great headsets so they can hear everything, which is probably me again promoting Astros. You know, love my pink Astros here. But the point is, it was very competitive. It was not easy, it was not simple, it took a lot of work and patience to get better, and I felt like there were a lot of great players out there. So I don't know if skill-based matchmaking is in the game or not, but it was definitely a competitive beta for everybody. It was not easy in any capacity. But let's talk about the other half of the community. We talked about the negative stuff first. I think that gets a lot of attention. But there is another half of the community that seems to really love Modern Warfare and really appreciate the game, and I'm kind of more on that side. I really do like Modern Warfare. But they like it to an almost wanky amount. They kind of want a white knight for the game and defend it against the jetpacker army and criticism. This tends to start out as, let Infinity Ward do their own thing. Don't cramp the devs' creativity. At least try it. We should at least try it for X amount of time before we start demanding changes, because people were demanding changes already. However, as they kind of brush up against the side of the community that does not like the game, these sort of demands become increasingly aggressive and increasingly forceful, and then eventually the Call of Duty community is going to ruin this game. They're like, the COD community is a bunch of angry children. They want one thing, they don't know about this thing, they want another thing, and all of their wants and demands are going to ruin the game. And I understand them too. They fear that a great game might get ruined before it even releases if Infinity Ward bends the knee to the pressure of the mob. If you let a mob design something, it's going to be a complete mess. And I think the analogy on this one is that if you're building a new product, you want to hire an engineer or a small team or a person and not a committee. If you let like a committee of managers sort of try to design something, it's going to turn into a mess. You never want design by committee, and that's what the more positive pro-Modern Warfare side of this community wants to avoid. They want to avoid a Franken game with a forced radar and a reworked this, and you know, we had this slow game and then we just decided to really do crazy stuff to the sprint out times, and this gun got nerfed and that got nerfed. We reworked headshots and now head glitching is different, and eventually you get something that is worse than the original despite your best intentions. So the way I see it, when I look at my comments, when I look at my timeline on Twitter, I see a lot of best COD ever and worst COD ever, and not a lot of middle ground. There's a lot of people that are very happy and very unhappy, and that hasn't been the case with other betas. A lot of other betas have been, this is good, this is bad, this is mediocre, this is 7 out of 10, this is 4 out of 10. This one's 0 or 10 with very little in the middle, and that makes me nervous for this season of Call of Duty. As a greedy, sneaky, snake, horrible person of a YouTuber who does everything for money and has no soul whatsoever, a profitable Modern Warfare is good for me. A big, popular game with a lot of people playing is just good for me in general, so I want it to thrive. And right now it's doing well, but I feel that Modern Warfare is walking on a tightrope right now. It's kind of like walking on a tightrope over a pit of alligators. One misstep and the game is going to crumble. I hope that doesn't happen. I really, really, really hope that doesn't happen, but it might just. And I hope that Infinity Ward can hear the community out, both the positive and the negative, in reasonable amounts and make what changes need to be changed without ruining their game. Guys, that is all for this short video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.